but I'm sure you're very.
There once was a young man named Kyle. His analysis truly was vile. He tried to write verse. The only thing worse, his pathetically bad sense of style.
Where did
Wow,
that
did
was
you
so good?
What?
How'd you do that so
What?
well?
Big brain. Big brain.
that
Nahaz.
off the top?
Yeah, was that really?
That's the PhD.
Holy shit!
That would have taken me like at least 10 minutes to write.
Wow.
I had that half formed. It wasn't exactly off the top of
That's
my head.
kind of borrowed. I think there's.
No,
a
I
little
had
bit.
it sort of half formed because I was gonna get you with it at Epicenter the day after you did that poem.
Ah.
But I hadn't like written it down or anything. I hadn't finished it.
Nice.
Are we to
Shit's
be
finished now.
My-
Masterpiece, dude.
At least my name's pretty easy to rhyme with, though. To be fair.
Vile sort of writes itself. Anyway,
Jeez,
All right,
I thought you were gonna be like his name is. He goes through life with a smile. You know, I was thinking, oh, this will be positive.
Which is surprising because he has no style or something.
yeah.
That's not true, though.
all right,
Thanks,
get
Kev.
it. Let's get to the draft,
my
here,
man.
guys.
But that's only because you're wearing my socks.
What? Wait, what?
Is it Razor laning
What?
versus
My
Omni,
socks.
and then Morphling laning versus Ember? They left the AA when they picked Morphling.
It's true.
They wanted to ban the OD more. I can understand OD as a Morphling counter. Do you guys
Right.
No,
like the
AA
anti-mage
is
ban?
the counter.
This
to
Razor pick, though, is that really you really want to counter Omni with Razor?
I mean,
Double static link, boys.
I'm not sure. No, it doesn't. I
Really?
thought double static link didn't work.
Does it not work?
It was one of like the 3 interactions that didn't. Kevin?
With Grimstroke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Static link.
You
Omni
don't. It doesn't work.
slash-
Really?
I don't
Yeah.
Why
think
not?
it does.
Why would static link not work?
I don't know, but
Because he can't.
I
Can he not
remember it
have?
not working.
Can he not have 2 static link
Oh
buffs?
God! All right.
I could see something like that, but
You guys are
you can
killing me.
refresh it.
We'll keep an eye
You
out.
can refresh static link and
It'll-
link 2 people, though.
I'm sure it'll be an easy. That's an easy one to.
Maybe
to
I was just
look for.
maybe someone misinformed me because I never learned. I assumed it would work, but someone was like, "Oh no, it doesn't. You're dumb. You should know that." So we'll find out, I suppose. But
That's Dota for you. So
I'm
many
sure I can
interactions
find
like
it.
that. Okay. So EHOME, they don't have the obvious like Heavenly Grace hero just yet. What is the best ban for CDEC, you think?
Spells that do not work: Omni slash, static link, charge, Nether Strike, Focus Fire, Soul Assumption, Snowball.
I can understand all the other ones because like a lot of them you need to end up in one location or like
I have
Yeah.
no. if
why would static
Link seems kind
I
of
don't
random
know.
that it wouldn't work, but it doesn't work.
It's probably
Okay.
a weird spell or something.
probably
Valve was like,
coding
we don't
weirdly,
care.
whatever.
Yeah, it's probably complicated to code it. You're just like, eh.
For whatever reason.
Let the
I
meta
got a
developer have our
pile
laziness.
I got a pile of Rubik and Morphling bugs this high. I'm not
That's
fixing
true.
static link plus.
So let's talk about this because I'm not sure about this Razor pick at all, regardless of stat. This is your mid.
Huh?
Ugh.
What? No, Morphling's
No,
good.
Morphling mid, but then
Morphling's
safe lane Razor.
Hey
This is-
guys.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like the greatest Rubik game. We got to pick him something better to steal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually it's a mighty nice Rubik game actually.
Let's think. EHOME. I really like EHOME's draft. I think they've got the edge so long as this last pick, kind of completes their lineup. They need something.
What
they
is
can.
the
The thing is, they have the
CDC
answer to the Morphling. You don't really need to worry about him necessarily because you've got the AA.
Are we
So
we
you
still
always threaten
are we still
kills.
off the
Yeah.
Slark hype train? No more
I
Slark.
mean,
Wraith King.
I don't know if I like that though.
Wraith King into Razor.
they need
I
something
don't
to-
particularly like either of these
I mean,
drafts.
they needed a carry to lane with A. Otherwise, A doesn't do anything. They need like a stun
That's true.
setup minimum.
It's true.
It's also he can ulti against Tidehunter. Like the burst is
You know,
not necessarily going to end him.
You
So
better
it's
get
like-
Ice
But
Blast
dude,
on
this
that morph.
is the thing is you've now given Razor like another hero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another link target.
I actually still like CDEC's
I got
lineup.
CDEC all day
Yeah.
here, baby.
I do
'Cause-
too, but that's the thing. Before the Wraith King pick, I'm like, all right, if Razor doesn't end up laning against Omni Knight, he's gonna feel like a
Yeah.
useless hero, and then you go ahead and you pick another hero that he can drain all game long.
Wraith King ain't it. That is. I was waiting for this last pick to. I really thought that it would be the Slark. Maybe people aren't so hot on the Slark anymore, but
Slark I think could have been too slow, but
maybe it gets punished in the lane. a
I'm
little bit.
just not a huge fan.
But I was just thinking Slark. It's like also a cold feet hero. It works pretty well with the Grace.
Like
Yeah.
all I can say is you better get Ice Blast on this Morphling, or he
But
just
What happens? Like, what if
destroys
what
everything.
happens if Morphling just farms until 20
Yeah.
and then he just starts every fight in the form of one of his allies?
Yeah. What if he just kills the AA?
Yeah, just jumps into the
You know?
backlines and shotguns.
No,
him
that
in
was
the
Yeah.
face.
that was your old theory about AA versus Slark and AA versus all these other mobile heroes that you just jump on him and kill him.
Yeah. It's different as a yeah, it's different if it's a core hero that you're dealing with. I don't know. I think CDC's playing better. I think their draft is easier to execute, and EHOME certainly could win this game, but I think that they need to outplay, and
Yeah.
they just simply can't win team fights right now. Like they won't. If a link goes off, it's okay. Bot TI, right? They run at each other. Who wins? CDC every time.
It is Ferrari
2-0,
Ember.
folks. Is that good? Oh, it is. Okay,
is.
it's good.
This
Ferrari Ember's
Ferrari doesn't have the nunchucks.
It's true.
Ooh,
I think
I'm so disappointed. Is
I
there
think he
the-
opened it though. Anyway,
Okay.
odds.
Okay.
Whoa.
That okay.
What? I will bet EHOME at those odds all day long.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's true.
EHOME's future is anywhere near that bleak.
Or Kyle, hit us with your
I already told you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
closing words.
Uh,
You're done.
Closing words.
You're outie.
Oh, are you leaving us again for this one?
Why
Yeah.
not Nahaz?
All right. It's
I,
okay.
Are you busy?
Huh?
What
It
are you
doesn't
doing?
matter.
What are you doing right now?
What do you mean?
You want to hang out?
No, I got kicked off the couch. It's like 3 people max.
No, dude, but
yeah,
we're
but we
alternate.
we
Yeah.
cycle.
No, it's okay. You guys will be just fine.
All right.
How dare you?
What?
Later, dude.
How
You're
dare
lazy.
you?
So lazy.
How dare you? Seriously though, have fun, guys. Enjoy the game.
Okay. Is this another lane where Wraith King's gonna get bopped? We've seen Wraith King versus Tide plus like a
Ooh.
decent damage position for hero.
Yeah, Gush.
Just get gushed and then clicked.
Yeah, consistently that's always what it is. It's like Tide +1.
Yeah.
Just wrecking
And
him.
like Wraith King's like, oh, my skeletons don't do anything against Tide, so I should go more points in Wraithfire Blast. Like,
And it's also going to be like Inkswell Stroke of Fate too.
It's been like a theme of these qualifiers.
yeah. If Wraith King doesn't get punished, he looks amazing. But if toss back, all right, there's the gush already. Punch him, and now they've already got the Grimstroke here to secure the room. Nice. They positioned this so nicely. 430. Wait, what the hell are you doing here?
I think they got Innocence.
He does have the chucks. Oh yeah.
Does he?
Does
Good.
Nice.
So the Grimstroke went down for the bounty. Tiny chased up after the A and tossed him back again, so they got another
Wait,
cycle.
wait,
No,
wait.
he's got the
you can-
set, but
wait.
he's got the swords.
yeah,
He didn't equip the weapons from it.
yeah, no, he just wanted the. Yeah, he just wanted the mask.
The senses.
The-
All right. Hey, you know what? That's pretty cool.
Maybe he's too worried about the animation, like
Maybe-
messing him up or something.
I don't know. Maybe because these are gifted from somebody. Who knows? Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's a comfort thing as well. I didn't realize you could do this with midwave. So it's begun. 430 has revealed the final step of the meta. You can drag midwave at level 1.
If you're against the
I
Razor.
knew somebody was going to do that. Oh my god, I hate creep cutting. Anyway.
Maybe they just need to make creeps smarter. Creeps are just too dumb. They're so dumb.
NA creeps.
Creeps are just like, oh yeah, oh it's a enemy hero.
NA creep wave.
Yeah. Creeps are just too dumb. Also, I'm sorry about missing that first blood, but that was just too weird. I had to show that on camera. There's
cool.
no way.
I told you what happened. It wasn't that interesting.
He just got run down, right? Did Gush come off cooldown and then they just killed him?
The Grimstroke disengaged to go get the bounty rune, and Tiny kept chasing, tossed him back to the Tide, and they got a second round of abilities.
Okay.
Is what happened. So
This James guy, we were talking about.
Yeah.
You were talking about it in the previous game, Nahaz. Like, he's been playing really well.
Yeah,
I don't even know the first thing about him. What team was he on before this? Does anyone have any intel?
I did read about that, and I've completely forgotten. I think I'll remember. I'll probably remember it as the game goes on. But that's one of the most fun things about these tournaments to me is that there's always at least one player that you don't really value coming in that really distinguishes himself, and that's relevant even if these guys don't make TI. This is going to be a player that's going to get looks from a lot of organizations.
You watch though. I bet he's like top 50 on the leaderboard or something.
Probably is.
Like, more than likely. Okay, interesting that they do. So they value the Razor in lane versus the Ember more than the Morphling. It does seem to be working better so far, for sure. And Morphling is getting good farm bottom. So less pressure on the Omni-Knight, more pressure on the Ember. But we talked about this yesterday when Faith Beyond was playing Omni-Knight. How many big plays can you actually make on this hero? Rubik with the double damage, though.
That's crazy strong. I mean, for level 2, he does, what, 61 damage here?
Yeah.
But he does have quite a few stats. He went Circlet, Mantle, and Iron Branch. He's got to get into Null Talisman, I guess.
No value.
It's not very common.
Oh, James came forward, but needs to be careful, gets stunned up. I don't know if this Cold Feet is going to proc, but it's still a ton of damage.
I like that Neverend's just running at them, though, with the Wraith King. He got an earlier crit on the Tide Hunter, too, just because he was slapping him, and all of a sudden the lane looked, like, semi-contestable. Like, you can't just passive farm on Wraith King. It's the issue that he runs into.
I don't think you can let these fights start with both of you being on full HP, right? I think you need to make sure that the Tide or the Tiny is starting on
Just a little
lower
bit low.
health. Yeah.
Chilling Touch helps a lot with that, actually. Because it's actually not that expensive mana-wise. Like, you use it once, and by the time you can throw it again, you're almost equal in mana again. So throw it out, keep them a little bit low. Tiny is not going to be as comfortable running aggressive.
And everyone's actually getting a lot of CS up here.
Well, the Ember is pretty sad, but
yeah.
I guess you have to expect that laning against Razor.
Yeah. It would be easier if he was on the Radiant side. You can like disjoint by sliding this camp, but it's a bit. You saw him try to do it over here, but it's a little bit far away to like run over there consistently. Oh no, Wraith King, not again.
Oh,
We've seen this story before.
I'm telling you. By the way, he has been playing professionally since 2014, but only with developmental clubs. Has bounced around with VG Gaming Potential, a couple of the FTD squads. So this is his first opportunity with a squad of this kind of pedigree, and he is really delivering.
Yeah, he's looked so good this qualifier. Morphling getting pressured a little bit. I like the double nuke lane against the Morphling. Just keep him honest. Make sure that he can't stay morphed all the way down, or at least force him to ferry a little bit of regen if he wants to.
Yeah, it's relevant as the game goes on too. You can't just let Morph roam around farming camps, farming lanes on full edge. You got to have some kind of nuke threat, if only just to pressure him and lower his efficiency a little bit.
Yeah, if you can spend the whole game just sitting on max agi, he farms so quickly. Ember, shoves the lane a little bit, comes in, soaks the experience, goes and farms the medium camp. 430 knows what he's doing here, and Ember's certainly a catch-up hero. So, 5-minute bounce runes. Jin-Q does actually manage to grab this one over on the bottom side. Faith Beyond going to take some damage, maybe another adaptive strike. Do they have a Stroke of Fate soon? Not quite. Waveform forward, few more hits. He does have the heal coming off cooldown soon. Nope, Stroke of Fate.
Ooh,
that was very close.
One more Wraith Band, that's a kill, maybe.
Oh, is Tiny going to try and intercept him to the shrine? Look at this. James is like...
He
knows that they're coming for the shrine. Is it?
No, not quite. Oh.
I thought he had that one.
Jin-Q's got a Fairy Fire as well. Man, that is stone cold from Jin-Q. You have a Fairy Fire, and you're like, nah.
Go mid. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, 430 couldn't get away from that one. And the salve to just stay healthy under the tower.
Well, the Razor pick working out, but you got to wonder. Again, it's these EHOME picks. They end up with 3 melee cores against the Razor.
Oh, left back. Big gank. AA also coming. XM looking pretty dead. He's got stick charges. Is he actually living? James coming in with the avalanche, catching everybody. Once again, looking for Jin-Q. James, I think he's okay.
I just really wanted him to get that kill again, because it was like, oh, round 2, Rubik, let's do it.
Yeah.
Fight.
But his damage just wasn't quite high enough.
Well, it's still, he's able to go into 3 enemy heroes and disrupt the kill on his mid.
Save his Razor.
It's a huge play.
Good. And a lot of TPs mid, too, for them. So many Fairy Fires in this game, actually. A is running out, too, as well. This guy's liking the items.
Yeah, the dire side has a lot of Fairy Fires. Interesting. Okay, Rubik rotating top now. But why?
Yeah, it's hard to
why
believe that you're going to get any real pressure on this Tide.
Yeah, why are you here? Maybe they just want to help their Wraith King. That's the issue.
At the end of the day,
yeah. It's got one
Rubik Tiny, round 3.
There's a lot of Wraith King skeletons. They're big, they're red, they're angry. Grimstroke comes through, makes good use of them to get a little bit extra damage on the Stroke of Fate, and looks like they will potentially get the turnaround. One more Anchor Smash, another stun, looking for the Grimstroke. He does have 10 stick charges, pops them, but will that be enough? Cold Feet doesn't quite catch And now another gush on onto Innocence. James coming forward. One more avalanche. Do they even need the toss? They do not.
Okay. Not bad. And it's actually kind of good for CDEC that Wraith King didn't die there. Because now he's completely out of health. He's going to have to run back. The top shrine got used in that last fight mid.
Oh,
so he's actually just zoned out of lane now. The only thing holding back Tide here is his lack of mana. Okay, they bring a salve. That's a huge play for A to recognize that. He would have had to jungle or something otherwise.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Wraith
all
King
that
needed
action,
for sure.
all that action top, Wraith King had been tops on the board on CS, and the other two Radiant Cores have now caught up.
It's the power of Razor, honestly. Like, you force your opponent to leave the lane because you've got Plasma, or you've got Static Link, and then you just max out Unstable Current, and you just easily push waves. You don't need mana for it, too. It's one of the nicest things about Razor. You just have to stay in the lane, and the lane gets pushed. No
I like
sentries,
this.
nothing.
XM knows where 430 is going to next, so get the free farm in the medium camp, and then also... Did 430? He didn't even put down another remnant before
That's a
he
really
TP'd.
nice play. So much of
He has to
Ember's
walk.
mid-game acceleration is being limited by that anticipation of his movements.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's not normally something that would happen to Ember Spirit, right? Normally your map uptime is like 100%, but now XM just rotates top. This man is everywhere.
God, the damage.
CDC, the
Yeah.
way that they play for the lanes, and then they use that little advantage so nicely. Morphling threatened, but once you get to the 3 points in attribute shift,
You know, he's not probably going to give up a kill in this lane, but he's also just been parked in the shadow of his own tower. Often what you see is with these favorable lanes, Morphling tends to be able to go full agi and just get free tower damage. And EHOME have not allowed that, at least.
yeah. And they come down here and look for the trade.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
So this is the natural move for the Wraith King. Your lane gets completely invaded. They want your tower. Should just come down here. Faith Beyond might TP top to go and take over this, though. CDC don't have the heroes to try for the tier 2, I don't think. They will probably run down the lane a little bit just to pressure, but...
And the tier 1 tower swap that we see so often in the safe lanes, and you know, two teams may just trade jungles here for a while.
Looks like a pretty good game for Razor at this point, though. There's, outside of like Sleight of Chain, or Assyrian Chains, there's not that many disables that he has to worry about. So as long as he keeps his movement speed up, he'll be pretty strong. He's actually rushing, he's got a crown,
Yeah.
but it looks like he's going BKB instead.
Do you
Wow.
like
Wow.
straight BKB for XM?
I think it's okay, because Razor just does so much damage naturally that he can basically, look where he's farming right now. He's like in the enemy jungle. If he just keeps BKB and his supports play around him, they could easily turn kills. Because heroes like, I mean, obviously Ember is going to be a really tough kill, but Wraith King, Omni Knight, basically all 4 heroes other than Ember Spirit, he can easily run down and pressure with a BKB. It's actually really scary
Yeah.
for them to play against
And
him.
it's going to make so much space for the Morphling as well, right?
Yeah.
Razor, he's not to carry this game. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be a
scale.
big farmer. He doesn't have to go to the late game. He just needs to hold the game on lock for the Morphling. And I think with the BKB, he can pressure their farm way more, like what Purge is saying. You just go kill people, and if they want to stop you, they're going to have to respond with like their entire team on EHOME.
You got the health talent too. When he's on Strength Treads, he's almost got 1900 health right now as a Razor. It's insane. And he does tons of damage just by being alive. So
He doesn't even have the Ogre
Yeah.
Club yet.
The thing I
He
worry
just bought
about
it, but-
is if Rubik gets a big steal and you get an Ember into a multi-man Ice Blast.
All right, Tide walks up the hill and say
Very
goodbye.
dead.
You know, the Razor can live, but the rest of his team can die.
that's true.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to Razor in too many of these fights is even if you get a good drain off, you can get ignored.
We got Lincoln Sphere for Morphling in this
Yep.
game. I guess what Razor's kind of physical damage, so maybe you're going for the Lincoln shotgun kind of a setup. Makes sense. Never End, still, despite a little bit of pressure, is #1 net worth. He's got his Timely Midas. He's going to have a reasonably timed Radiance, so his scaling this game is looking pretty good. And with the Heavenly Grace, he will be very survivable. But we're going to have to see if the Heavenly Grace is as good on the Wraith King as it is on some of these other heroes.
We're also going to have to see if Ferrari can sustain the kind of farm. You know, we talk about Ember Spirit as a catch-up hero, but so far CDC have done an excellent job contesting that dire side of the map, and you can see Ember is forced over into this right side secondary jungle, splitting farm with his own support. That's not generally where you're going to see Ember farming at this point in the game.
Nahaz, has anyone ever told you that when you say ketchup, you say it very much like the condiment? That's like instantly what I think every time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because nobody else says ketchup, but it's like you blend the
A
word.
ketchup hero.
Ketchup. You say
Yeah,
it, you
okay.
like blend it.
The ketchup
As
Midas.
opposed
Maybe it's 'cause
to as opposed to a
catch-
mustard hero.
It's probably because you're not saying catch. You're saying ketchup. Catch
catch-up
versus
hero?
catch.
Okay.
I think that's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
Well,
We
you're
figured it
dead,
out.
Tide.
Yeah, this keeps working. These 3 utility heroes just running around killing the Tide. It's pretty good. 1, 2, 3. He doesn't have. So they didn't manage to establish a ward here. They got the Razor illusion for a little bit of vision, but they do not have that sort of natural. Actually, the Radiant warding is kind of interesting.
This is the same kind of pattern that we were pointing out in the previous game. I mean, they have been a little bit more aggressive.
Ooh, missed on the stroke.
Ooh. They have a little bit more
Swing and a miss.
been a little bit more aggressive, threatening the Gyre jungle with rotations, but the pattern of vision is extremely passive.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. Maybe it's just to make sure that Morphling doesn't get ganked as easily, because that's the one guy they're worried about, or something. Like, why would they need this Observer Ward in their Radiant jungle?
That's
what
what
does
I'm-
that protect? You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm questioning.
like if they're farming passively, then they'll see them coming with a smoke or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
The other ones make perfect sense, though. It's like normal ward placement.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, see who's approaching what lanes, where EHOME are going to be playing next.
Mhm.
AA is up here at top. Toss in the Morphling. Waveform through, does get hit by the Ice Blast, but Innocence is gone. We have seen him have a pretty tough series. And yeah, we now got the Waveform maxed out on the Morph. Wait, is this isn't standard, right? It's
Some players have been doing this.
Yeah, I've
actually.
seen it before.
okay.
Just because most players grab waveform range lately. Like, even before Adaptive Strike got nerfed, people were always getting waveform range. And I think they just kind of realized, like, if I've got a waveform range, why not just lower my waveform cooldown as well?
Yeah. I used to also see people like farming with Adaptive Strike a lot, and I always questioned how good that actually was. Like, I can understand spamming an AoE spell for farm, but like they were running Clarities nonstop and then just using Adaptive Strike to get through the camps a little bit quicker, and to me it was always like, maybe. Like, maybe it's a
Next
Razor.
I'm going to get initiated on here.
Yep, and
This is
Slight
important.
Chains, this is a lot of damage. Thick Charge is not going to help him.
Yeah, this is important. It looked like the CDEC side was going to be able to take that tier 1 mid tower for free, but they do get caught on the way out.
He was just caught in no man's land.
Yeah.
That is not somewhere where
That's
you
a-
can be.
Strange. It looked like they were going to try and pressure the Dire jungle again, but the other 4 teammates just kind of had other ideas.
Rubik has a stupid fast 8th lens, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
15 minutes in.
That's actually disgusting.
Yeah, he's very farmed. He's more farmed, quite a bit more farmed than the Tiny. Tiny's still going Blink. James finding bits and pieces here and there, spamming some waves out. Didn't get those last 2, unfortunately.
Well, that's the power you saw.
This time around, they got it on the Morphling, but he's not sitting at a... he's sitting close to fully morphed. Waveform through. They really want to kill him with the Shatter. One more touch. He gets the stick charges off now, and that is going to be a turnaround.
There was no hope.
No, that's unfortunate.
it was
Rubik
very
gives up the
screwed.
death there. But that is very calculated by EHOME. You saw them giving farm to the Rubik as Ember Spirit was farming a camp nearby. Very calculated on their part to put farm on this Rubik, knowing that they are counting on him getting a big steal to make a team fight happen.
And it's not just that, actually. It's that he's effectively a Hurricane Pike against Razor. Razor goes to run somebody down, and if he has extra range, he can lift and toss him back without putting himself in as much danger. So you could argue that even prevents Razor from being as much of a problem right now. It might have been the reason that he died, too.
And again, check it out. We're seeing this valuing telekinesis over the Arcane Supremacy this game.
Which I think is fine. Like, I mean, the debuff amp that you're getting per Arcane Supremacy is very small, but
Yeah.
the raw telekinesis upgrade gives you a lot more lift duration.
I don't think there are too many stuns that you're going to be stealing consistently this game either. Like, there's some nukes, but what's he going to get his hands on? There's like an avalanche.
Well, Avalanche, yeah, and we still got to look that up in the last game.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, does it make it
Does
so
it
that
make
you
it
can't-
enough to perma-stun?
Yeah. Can it prevent BKB at that stage? That would be
That's
the,
true.
the big question.
There could be like a level that it does have enough debuff amp. But Arcane Supremacy is a skill you get like half of the value with just one skill point is the thing. It like doesn't
Yeah,
scale
yeah.
that incredibly. So I'm slightly surprised we don't see more max telekinesis. But if you can reliably steal a damage nuke, it makes sense. If burst damage is really all you need. There's smoke coming. They spotted this one with their observer ward though, which is okay. Yeah, their sentry's kind of close, but they definitely know it's coming to Morphling. He waveformed out, so they know. They instantly back, and they're gonna be looking for somebody else. Tide could be able to defend this because he has his hood finished, but I don't think they want to fight. Morphling's staying around. I guess they're kind of open to this, it looks like. Razor doesn't have his BKB yet. It's on the way, though. They could definitely fight this if they get the item in time. Tide's sitting, waiting. Here comes the Ice Blast, looking for the Razor. It actually spots him now, I think.
He's got his BKB.
They see him on the dire side.
Oh, and they're pincering. James also has his blink on this Tiny. He could catch somebody. Big toss back on the Wraith King if they want to save him. They're going to have to commit to this fight, but it's a hard place to do it. Can they actually get him back to the tower? This is great kiting from EHOME. Wraith King now underneath his tier 1. 1, 2, 3, still sitting on top of everything. Razor stole some static link damage. The Guardian Angel comes in, but is it actually protecting the Wraith King enough? There's a lot of magical damage, and XM is just sitting right on top of him, not even forced into the BKB. They find the Omni Knight in the sidelines. The Ice Blast not really connecting the way that they would hope. Ravage coming out. That's a double kill for your Grimstroke. And CDEC, just a great timing, a whole bunch of items all coming online at the same time.
Yeah, and you can just see how strong CDEC feel to take that fight in the shadow of the tier 1 tower. There was no thought of that.
Avatos, Phantom's Embrace, 430's dead.
Gosh.
That blink on Tiny actually, it's the only reason any of this happened. Because getting a grab there was almost impossible. There was
if he didn't toss him back,
exactly,
none of that fight does not happen at all.
Especially that hero too. They toss him back. He's got his ultimate, so they kind of still played
oh,
around
maybe,
him.
like, yeah, maybe
Exactly.
we can save him.
But looking at what happened, if they just ditch him, it would have been actually so much better for the outcome. But without that blink, not only did they not get the Wraith King, but they also get that final Ember kill. So everything that CDEC wants, they get. And they were able to like extend their Ravage duration as much as they wanted to. Like basically everything that they wanted to do, they could.
James killed like all 3 cores that fight, basically. He got the toss back, then he found the Omni in the trees, and then stayed in the trees, found one more on 430.
Man, this kid is tearing it up.
You could not ask for more value from your Tiny at that stage of the game.
Wow. I mean, if CDEC make it to Shanghai, this kid has got to be the MVP.
All right, 20-minute banner
no.
coming up. Oh, no, Wraith King. Doesn't have the ulti this time around, just a quick kill.
That's a huge death.
Oh,
Why we question the Wraith King pick?
They're going for the Tide at top, but what can they actually do? This time around, we've seen these 3 heroes successfully kill Tide before. Now he's got a new toy. He's got the Hood of Defiance. He's not dying.
Yep. Like the percentage of his health that Purify can just erase is also much lower.
Yeah. Well, what's his strength gain, actually? 3.5. It's pretty good. So just as he levels up,
yeah, and
getting there.
You wonder if he's just going to go ahead and... Yeah, he did just complete the full pipe. And that really makes it tough for EHOME in these fights. I mean, where is their damage output going to come from, even if Rubik manages to get a big steal?
Yeah.
Hey, Innocence.
Magic barriers against AA and Ember and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's huge.
All
Okay,
right.
transform, so
Yep.
the Ice Blast
Morphs
isn't
in.
as big
Now
of a deal.
and he's got the Flame Guard as well.
Oh, that's right. Good point. The perfect
Nope.
counter.
They got the lifts. They do get some stuns over under the Grimstroke, bring him down, but they've got the Soulbind out. CDC aren't really all here just yet. Tidehunter's coming in from the side, and Ravage is only on cooldown for 1 more second. He sees everybody. Is he going to go for it? Doesn't want to press the button. Needs to be careful of the Rubik. The spell steal is on cooldown for now. He's just faking it out. They will lose the first life on the Wraith King. It's only 50 damage stolen. James coming in once again with the Avatos combination. They're trying with the Guardian Angel. Desperate to save Never End. Can they actually do it? They won't be able to. Rubik, he wanted the spell steal, but he just can't risk coming back into this fight. 430 does jump out.
Good time to pipe.
Yeah, right as the Ice Blast lands, they pipe, and they walk away. This Wraith King was farming pretty nicely, but then death, death, death. Well, death, 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 death.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time. And Razor's more farmed than he is, which is not what we were expecting, right? Razor bought the BKB first. I really thought that he would be like 4th on net worth maybe, but Ember's still struggling, and Wraith King has been binned.
No, and he's gone a very greedy build. I mean, so much of that net worth that he's behind the Razor as things stand, and then you add the net worth that's tied up in that Midas that has not paid for itself. You know, Wraith King is not a force in these fights without another item.
I mean, all of the heroes he's fighting against range cores, who are already going to have a mobility advantage, basically. And on top of that, he's against a Tiny, who's going to be able to weave in and out better. And he doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet himself. He has to spend his gold on Midas, and then he has to buy a Radiance. And then over here on Razor, he just gets 4 points in Unstable Current, and he's doing, like, almost comparable damage as Radiance. He's dealing 40 damage per second compared to the, 60?
Well, we just saw the Blink Dagger come out on Rubik, and now he has Aether and Blink. So much of the EHOME hopes in these team fights are riding on the back of that Rubik. I just don't know if X and Q can deliver here.
Perfect spot for Razor.
They found the Grimstroke. Razor's in a good place, but he does get lifted. There's the toss. They're straight on top of Neverend. He's losing a lot of damage. Faith Beyond does have the Soulbind on top of him. He actually drags it over onto the Ember Spirit. 430 won't be able to escape because he's rooted.
No.
He's just going to get chewed
First.
down. All 3 cores dead. XM gets the triple. You called it, Purge. Great spot for the Razor.
That was so important, actually, that they moved and killed Ember first. Because if they kill the Omni, who is almost dead, then the ulti goes away, and then he jumps.
Yep.
And the Atos pickup was cool. At first, I doubted it, but with the Grimstroke link, you get a double Atos.
I think he got changed as well. The Morphling was also in there. It's just... Oh, man. Well,
To be fair, CDC has played this game just about perfectly.
CDEC are looking... The more I look at this game as well, the more I question, like, 1, is AA that good? 2, is AA actually a counter to Morphling? The new Morphling.
I think this Wraith King pick just makes the whole draft look a lot worse than it needed to be.
I think they picked it because they wanted something to lane with AA, right? They were like, oh yeah AA Wraith King, that's a combo, but
again, it gives you 3 melee cores into a Razor. Like, I don't know.
It feels like AA only counters it if you have, like, a stun against Morphling, and ideally a silence, and then you have the AA there. I mean, it's like the solution.
Ah, yes, 3 picks to counter 1 hero.
My
favorite.
That's the problem. It's like you need a carry or offlaner that has a stun that can initiate before he strength morphs, and the AA is there.
And all of this has to happen before he hits level 20.
But think about it, right? If this Wraith King pick is like say a Queen of Pain, all right, for lack of a better example, and you send the Ember to the safe lane, at least you have the mid-game burst damage to threaten the Morphling in these fights.
Yeah.
There's just no damage right now on the side of EHOME.
Nope. James looking for it again. All right, it's going to get the Avalanche stolen away by Jinkyu, but his Blink is on cooldown, so he can't really go and catch anything. On the other side, we do have Bounty Rune spawning. Innocence with the Glimmer Cape really, really wanted the Bounty. He's not going to get it, though, and he's just going to get run down. Faith Beyond inside of the base. There's the Link, the double shotgun, the Ravage, along with the Avatos combination. Well, CDC are just... They're kicking him while they're down. Never end. Oh, no, he gets rooted trying to TP back into the base. XM found him. He might be able to walk away from this, but now they've got no Wraith King in this fight. And XM is just gonna walk the Wraith King all the way back.
A little safe on the Razor, but that's fine. This team just wins a team fight without Razor.
Yep.
Just no big deal. But it's Grimstroke with the E-Blade, I guess.
Yep, Grimstroke Morphling.
506 Morphling. That's scary stuff. Do you ever play those games where you like look on the scoreboard and you're like, oh, the enemy carry has like...
that guy has no deaths?
And I'm like,
yep. Everything I've done in this game until now is irrelevant.
And I'm like, dude, I'm winning my lane. I'm doing great. And you look up there.
Like, uh-oh.
That's like one of those moments where you have to like, all right, guys, we need 4-man, smoke, gank the enemy carry. And if you don't do that, it's like the game's out of control completely.
And it's not even the 0 deaths, it's the kills as well, right? You open up the scoreboard and you see that the enemy carry has kills, because that's just going to accelerate his item timings.
Yeah, and you know he hasn't been contested or pressured.
It's like, okay, so he has the maximum amount of free farm. Whoever he's laning against has lost, and he has kills.
But we won our lane. Well,
maybe
you won your lane, but he super won his. So,
S and Y no on Razor. This is a weird 3 set of items, kind of.
Yeah. A lot of these are like, you would either see the Atos or the SNY as like his first item, but it was actually the BKB that was the first item.
I actually love it here. That
it works.
It's think about when he's thinking the game's going to end.
Toss it back. It's got the Heavenly Grace on him, but Rubik's just gone.
James, calm down, man.
He's gonna look for more.
He's just bullying
Phantoms
them.
Embrace, yeah. Please. Oh wait, is that double toss?
Yes, it was.
Okay, cool.
It looked pretty strange,
Because
but
of the Grimstroke ult,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
I guess so.
soulbind. It looked like he tossed the same unit twice. I don't know.
It might have, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense.
So
Anyway.
don't give James Tiny? Or
I guess not.
I guess not, yeah.
because he does seem, there's definitely a lot of moments in these games where it's like, we're looking at something else, and all of a sudden, like, some important hero gets tossed back. It's like a glimpse.
Yeah.
He's basically like a better version of Disruptor this game.
He's winning these off lanes as well, like, I gotta say. Like, but he was there only for a little bit. They put the pressure on, they got the first blood, etc., and then he leaves, and he's in the right place at the right time. He would have looked so godly if he'd gotten this Rubik
yeah.
kill here as well, right? Like,
Because it
that
was such a read,
that
too.
was such a hard read.
Yep.
Yeah, he knows exactly what
He's going
EHOME
for the
wants.
shrine. Yep.
Yeah. Now he's got the Force Staff. And it's not like it's not like anybody well, partially it's because they're winning their lanes so hard as well, right? That it makes all this space for the position for Tiny to look so godlike, because he's not taking away from anybody else on his team. He's creating all of this farm and stuff by himself.
But at the same time, that's we've talked about this. EHOME has tried to give space to their 4-position Rubik, counting on him to make the same kind of impact. And GQ's a player we've seen some big games from, but not this one.
I just don't feel like Rubik's like the game changer here
EHOME.
sometimes. That's all.
Oh no, their
Maybe you're
smoke
right.
didn't even break. They just got baited. All right, Neverend walks in there with the Heavenly Grace, but immediately gets caught by the Static Link. They've got the Soulbind as well. Force Staff forward, Ravage, Lift. Rubik, can you steal anything? Won't
gracious.
be able to. Wraith King's coming back. Rubik has bought
Got
back
the
into
courier
this
too.
game. 430. BKB'd in the back lines. They're looking for the Wraith King's second life, and they get it. Rubik, what's he stolen? Does get the Phantom, but no Wraith King, probably no fight. XM, still very healthy. Spots Innocence in the trees. He's just forced to TP out. Wraith King buys back, but by the time he gets over to the pit, this Roshan's already going to be dead.
No, and you have no Omni.
Razor's just running the whole team down the whole time. There's nothing they can do to stop it.
GQ,
Atos hits.
come in, lift. Can they get the Roshan? Dire Rosh, who's got the Aegis? Also,
Oh, there you
Shinkyu
go.
gets the Aegis. He's making the big plays.
It's not going to
Morphling's
matter.
heavenly gracing himself, by the way. Check it out.
Oh,
Shinkyu.
that's cool.
Is he going to get out of here? No, he's dead. All right.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, that's value. They are still down 23k gold, though.
Yeah, I mean,
so-
I don't know if they're going to kill him once in the first place. So maybe they just didn't matter, but... yeah, Razor's got another 4,000 gold now.
Yep.
With the Eye of the Storm Strike. Have you tried Ags on Razor since it hit 2 people?
I have not. Is
It's
it
pretty-
good?
It felt really good
Yeah?
when I tried it the
Really?
other day. Maybe it was just a good Razor game because my opponents had no stuns, so
I
I was
kinda-
just running around like crazy. But
In my head, anyway, I had that Ags not bottom tier, but certainly
Situational.
not top tier.
I mean,
yeah.
the stats on them are excellent. Razor's with
Right.
raw health and things are already great.
It feels a little
I
bit
don't know.
win more sometimes, though, right?
Well, Razor's just a win more hero.
Yeah.
That's
It
kinda
just
issue.
really associates well with running people down, basically.
Okay,
And that's what
yeah.
Razor's good. He buys a Moonshard though, which is very interesting.
Yeah,
He's got double
well, you
damage
get the big
as well.
drains
True.
off.
Is he even going to get any kills, though? So, Ember is dead.
He kills people too fast, to even sap that much damage. Like Wraith King, he's getting like 70 damage sometimes.
I just would like to point out. I mean, look at what Morph can do. I mean, he heavenly graces himself. He flame guards himself.
Yeah.
I mean, it is his ultimate.
I love the design of the ultimate, but it's so good.
Mega creeps. So, okay, is there a formula here for CDEC that's going to get exploited by anybody else, or is it not that kind of situation? They're just outdrafting and outplaying.
I just think that there was just no adjustment to the Razor pick.
Yeah.
I think you have to be able to pause at that point and say we cannot pick a third melee core into this Razor because no matter what lane he ends up in, he's going to dominate his lane, and then he's going to be in the situation where he can just chase people all over the board in these fights. And you lost the battle of the 4 positions just so hard.
So hard, yeah.
Does that mean Ember doesn't win all of his matchups? We find they have an Ember counter for the laning stage.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody ever. The thing that had been happening with Ember is that when Razor got picked into him, teams have just been moving him to the safe lane, right? But you can't do that here because Razor crushes the other two cores.
They
just as
lost
hard.
the other lanes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they lost bottom too hard, but if you shut down, so 430 shut down on the laning stage, Faith Beyond's on Omni Knight.
Yeah, that's
Like, how
many times have we said that in this qualifier, right?
I don't want this guy on Omni.
Well, thank you. That was actually
Yeah.
going to be my first point, which is that Faith Beyond has like single-handedly won games for his team by
Yeah.
being
His tiny?
he's a killer. He's a slayer.
Yep.
Okay, and it reminds me of trying to think of like another like Limp to me is another typical player where it's like you see this guy on tiny and you're just like holy shit, this guy like he's just I can't. What is he doing? He's owning me all over. But then put him on something that's more passive, totally different game state. And in addition, what's up with this Omni always being off lane? Isn't it like I don't really get it because when I see it played 5, like when VP does it looks fantastic.
Well,
And
not
it feels
too many,
like these
not
teams
too
are
many
just,
other teams have done that though.
It's been happening
just
a
not
little
clear
bit.
that
In
it's
SEA, it was more support than core.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But didn't they took Omni 3rd, right? And AA 4th?
Yeah. As far as I remember.
Something like that. I wish that, unfortunately, this order is based on the order in which people select,
Chose
like
their heroes,
locked
yeah.
in their heroes. It would be helpful if this was, for Captain's Mode, this was actually the pick order. Summer Scrub something?
Yeah.
Update that, please.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Voted for
nice.
all
We
pick,
have the,
Thank you.
wait.
Yeah. So
Okay, yeah.
So okay.
Yeah.
If this Omni
No, because they
No.
last picked Wraith King. But so
Yeah,
it's,
it was
it's-
Ember
it's,
third.
It's outside in, folks.
right.
Outside in.
so
Omni Rubik was their open.
Yeah.
The Morph was the reply.
So
Right.
yeah, Tiny first overall.
And
Omni
so,
Rubik, Morph, Bands, Grimstroke,
Yeah.
Ember.
Razor was the last pick of the second
you know what?
phase.
Yeah. So in reality, actually, like the way the draft order went, you kind of like the Omni's going to be, sorry, the Omni's going to be core, just based on how
Yes.
this order's looking. You pick the AA because you want to deal with the morph. Like I get that, it's an answer. Wait, they actually. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, I'm like reading the draft.
it-
Yeah,
again.
yeah, you gotta-
it is
you gotta
tricky
go-
to
you gotta
read,
go this
right?
way.
So it's I just feel like the Wraith King cripples them.
That's
right?
what I've been.
The
That's what I
Wraith
was
King-
saying.
the
half
Wraith-
the
Isn't it the
game.
same?
They
as,
picked Wraith King into Razor. Like,
Yeah.
Wasn't it? What was the game we just watched? Like the LC last pick into the bat,
Yep.
where it sort of answers the bat, but then.
But then you take a look at the lanes and it's like
what did the Wraith King answer this game? Like, it doesn't answer Tide. We've
It's
seen
not
him,
good against
we've,
Tide
we've
at
seen,
all.
We've seen him lose lane to Tide over and over and over again. It's not good against the Razor, and I don't think it's really good against Morphling. So you're not counterpicking any of the enemy 3 cores.
the example that I gave during the game, Kyle, which you'll probably hate, was
I'm
if that
ready.
Wraith King is a Queen of Pain and you move the Ember into the safe lane, Queen of Pain at least gives you the burst
then
damage.
they have
in
0
the mid-game.
building damage.
It's
but
funny. I came here ready to talk about how they could have last picked Queen of Pain and why that wouldn't work, but it would have been better. That
Okay.
was the hero in my
All right.
head.
All right. Wow.
It
can
makes
see it.
sense. Like it.
I don't like it, but
I don't like-
it's
exactly.
better
They
than the
can't,
Wraith
they
King.
can't
Yeah.
take a single building with a clock.
The,
but anyway.
That's another scenario where I feel like they even could have gone for something like a timber saw, which is something
Okay.
I've seen other teams do because you have so much catch, and I know it's not like the greatest synergistically, but at least you have a tool that wins you the game, right? That
Yeah.
does at some point enough damage to threaten the Morphling.
Does it, though?
Not really. I don't know. There's no.
Especially with an AA too. It's like you're matching pure damage with Magic Amp. It just,
I know
it's
it
weird.
doesn't feel great, but the problem is, and this is the concern when you have these last picks, right? That need to do too much, because you haven't fully addressed. Like the enemy has better team fight, the enemy currently has better late game, and
Yeah.
you need an ability to push towers. What hero can do all of these things
But-
for you?
Okay.
Pugna.
You're not winning that
Pugna
game.
just
They
dies.
get BKBs, and that's the other thing. How
Yeah.
do you address BKBs? You currently have 0 abilities that do so.
That is the thing that is triggering me with too many of these drafts is the Chinese teams rose last year based on playing around these multiple mid-game BKB timings,
Yeah.
and we are seeing in so many of
And
these drafts nothing to do with spell
do you know
immunity.
what? Do you know what I think other teams are going to look to do is like that's a cool game to last pick Meepo. I know you're into a
Yeah.
Tide, but you actually will body a Tide in lane, especially with
Oh,
heroes like
yeah.
AA
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're tri-laning. Like he just gets owned, and then Meepo takes over the map. You crush Morph, you crush Razor throughout the game. They don't actually have like real
Yeah.
AoE to deal with you.
Yeah, that's true.
And like Huskar, I honestly wouldn't mind either in that spot. You already have an Omni behind you. I think that combination could at least, when you think about it, right? how do I end the game? How do I kill towers? I want a frontliner that uses Heavenly Grace. You need one of these super sick last picks. If you're last picking a Wraith King, you're not effectively utilizing second pick.
That's the thing. I buy all of these arguments, but I feel like we spend too much time trying to find the perfect hero solution, and when the fact is, any of these options are better than the Wraith King.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You got to use that last pick better.
Yeah, I think that this was an outdraft at the very end.
Okay.
And you know what else we need?
We need a break.
Yeah.
We need a break.
So congratulations, of course, to CDEC. They are through to the grand finals. We're going to be seeing them again tomorrow, but there's still more Dota action coming up. We've got IG versus Royal. They're all ready to go in the lobby. So we're going to head to a break, and when we come back, we'll have that best of 3 for you here.